Hey golfers, I'm Drew Mahowald, the second swing golf. We're out here at Titleist Performance Institute and with Lucas Bro, fitter here for Titleist. And this is gonna be fun because we have a blast from the past here.
Yep.
This is the Titleist AP2, the 718 version.
Yeah.
And we've got the brand new Titleist T100. So we thought
Yes.
we'd put them together in a head-to-head sort of Trackman test to test out, well, test out the numbers and see that, but just also we got to look at how different they are in just the appearance and the size of them too.
Yeah.
So AP2 was kind of part of this family that had several generations. There was, you know, the AP1, AP2. They added the AP3 in there as well at the end there. But my understanding, Lucas, was AP2 was kind of your player's iron of the two, and then the AP1 was sort of a, you know, maybe a game improvement, or, more distance-oriented iron. But it had a pretty good run there for a long time.
I mean, I think AP2 and I think Jordan Spieth, right?
Yeah.
He was kind of the first modern player that really adopted blade-like looking golf clubs with some technology behind it. So you had those prior generation players like your Adam Scotts that were still playing blades, but the AP2 was really trying to push the boundary of how much tech can we add into that solid state, that much blade-looking, you know, that more blade-looking golf club. And obviously over the years, you can see that the size of the sole has gotten different, the blade length has gotten different. So this AP2 almost looks a lot more like the T150 now.
Yeah.
And so all these designs have kind of stolen from each other and evolved over the years, but you can see this T100 is starting to get back to that cavity back blade kind of style and size. So it's just another way to do the same thing. And they're just getting so much better at refining those small features.
I think one big thing that I know just from looking at this, just the back of the club, is just how much cleaner the T100 is. It's simpler, cleaner, you know, that simplistic kind of, you know, and you have the satin, of course, but that is already attractive. And then you talk about the sizing being a little bit smaller, top line is a little thinner, a lot more pleasing to the Jordan Spieth out there for sure. But in terms of the feel as well, I know that's been refined. And then we talk, you know, we've already done some content today about the fitting aspects as well that are available now with the hosel, of course. A lot of big things that we're going to see in some testing here too in the performance. Do you have an anticipation for how the performance might be any different, or is it going to be primarily the feel, maybe some consistency on it as well?
I'm really curious of two things. The first is going to be the different grooves in the new model and how well your off-center hits and your center strikes retain spin. The second piece of it is I'm really curious how the ball speed will be on off-center hits. So I don't think when you hit a perfect golf shot, it's going to be that much different. I do think the misses on this golf club are going to be a little bit better. So I'm really curious to see how much. It's been a few years since I've had to test this, so I'm really excited to do this too.
Yeah, well, let's get to it then.
Okay. Good swing, good miss.
A slight pull, but it still feels really good. I feel like having already hit earlier today in some content, or having already hit T100, I think when I hit that again, it's going to sound softer. I feel like it's, not that this is like loud, but I feel like it's a little bit more of an audio feedback.
Gotcha. I think the other thing to observe is turf interaction. Probably more prevalent here, being that it's a little firmer. It's Bermuda. Where at home, maybe it'd be less of a deal.
Definitely, this is definitely firmer than I'm used to hitting shots off of.
Let's hit like 2 or 3 more.
Okay.
Those have all been really good strikes. That sounded flush.
That was.
1 more.
We'll say I'm hitting this one.
I'd agree.
Pretty solid right now.
So, you know why I think you're hitting it more solid? It's an S300.
Yeah, that could be.
I think it confirms that I think you still need to be an X, but having a little softer.
Yeah, you might be right about that. You probably are right about that, is what I should say.
We have lots of data to suggest.
Yes.
Not bad.
All right, that's still out to the right now. I hit that one a little low in the face too. But
bright sunny day. First thing I notice when this thing's pointing at me, it's
shiny.
Yeah.
You need some sunglasses every once in a while with those.
And at the time, that was what people wanted. That was what people liked.
Right.
And just like car colors, you know, there's trends.
Yep. T100.
Yep.
I do see the top line's a little smaller.
Yeah.
It also a little shorter, like heel to toe length as well.
That was really good.
Yeah.
The first thing I notice is how that sounded through the ground.
Yeah, I think so too. I like it.
I would agree.
Good feedback. Interesting. A little out to the right. Kind of a toe strike there too.
Okay. A little low on the face?
Yep. You've seen a lot of golf shots in your day. You know that stuff right away, I bet.
What, knowing that was low on the face?
Yeah.
You can hear it.
Yeah.
And then you could kind of see the flight went like this instead of out.
Right.
Because the nice thing about this range is it's always into the wind. So the flaw shows up almost immediately.
It's not nice for me, but.
No, but I also need, people forget that when you're on this driving range, if you make the golf ball fly really good, you're only making it fly good into the wind.
Right.
And so you almost needed to see it be just a little penalized.
Sure.
It's tough sometimes though, because I think most players are really, they focus on the into the wind shot because it's the most penalty driven shot.
That one was also maybe a tad low, but it still was, I'm
starting to swing a little left again.
Okay.
I want you to start to feel that draw feeling that you had with the 3-wood. Just a little bit, not a lot. I mean, that's really close to being perfect.
That was a really good, I mean, that was as close to the center, I think, as I'm going to get. It also felt very different than any shot I had with AP2.
Interesting.
I'm curious about that one because that maybe was a slight, high on the face.
Let me show you that one. Those are pretty good.
But I'm curious to see how actually it performed because.
So, always one of the more challenging parts about iron fitting is you're not trying to reinvent the wheel. You're trying to enhance the product, right? If you think of buying a car 20 years ago, you sometimes avoided certain manufacturers because they would break down.
Yeah.
And so now everybody's getting really good at building the cars, and so they get really consistent with how they build them. And so there's all the design features that start to jump out. So ball speed hasn't really changed too much.
Right.
Launch hasn't really changed too much. Spin hasn't really changed, therefore carrying everything. But if you notice, the white versus the orange is a better grouping of shots.
Yeah.
Now, you could argue a lot of different things, but what I really see is you had a harder time with the AP2 starting the ball on your intended line. Now, whether that's the golf club or whether that's you, it still leads us down the path of that golf club seemed to be working really well in your favor.
Right.
But yeah, not a huge difference in terms of numbers.
Which we didn't expect that either. I mean, we can get two more and get like 6 for 6.
Now,
maybe, but
what I really like about that last shot was 126 ball speed. That was the miss. 175 carry. 126.5 ball speed. 172.5 carry.
And both went
128 ball speed. 175 carry.
Yep.
So we talk about miss hits.
Yeah.
You know, you covering that bunker, you covering that water.
I mean, 3 yards can make a difference.
Absolutely. Because remember, we're coming back to it's 2 shots around for you.
Yep.
That's one of them, potentially.
Yeah, close the face a little bit there.
Good strike, but just a little pull.
Yep.
That was really good.
Yeah, that was similar to that last shot where I just it felt like perfect contact.
Yeah.
And there's not a ton of noise with those either. You just it's just a soft thud. The ball is sent out there.
I think the thing that I really like for you is the blade length is shorter, and it keeps the ball from that toe grabbing and moving the ball to the right. So really, it's those two shots that I feel like present themselves in old AP2. But in terms of max ball speed, you had more with the new T100.
Okay.
Everything else was fairly similar.
Yeah.
You know, you could maybe cherry pick this left one that you pulled, but
right.
at the same time, you wouldn't, because it was still a good golf shot.
Yeah.
Overall, though, they're pretty darn close.
Yeah.
I think the big thing is overall ball speed is up a tiny bit, and when your ball speed dropped to 126, you still had your max carry. So what this number doesn't tell you as much is you're guaranteeing yourself a couple more yards of cover.
Yep.
And I think that's a competitive advantage and reason alone to think about changing.
Yeah. And that's aside from what we've talked about is, you know, the differences in the look and size of them. We talked about you got the shiny chrome here, which, as you said, was the thing 8 years ago. But now we've got a much cleaner look to it, obviously, and there's also the opportunity to blend it together a little bit better than AP2 ever really could with anything. Yeah. So
I don't think it's so much a call to action of if you've got last generation's T100s and they've got good grooves. I think the big thing is that you can change in a new product and not see this giant difference and really screw up your game.
Right.
And I think you lean on the other clubs in the series if you want to really push the envelope with your ball flight and things like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because I don't think we were coming here expecting distance or anything like that.
No.
Or ball speed to be massively different. We saw a little increase with the T100 in ball speed, but it was primarily how that spin handles itself on maybe the not perfect strikes, which we saw was an improvement. And then everything staying consistent. You know, that shot there where maybe I lost a little bit of ball speed, I still had that cover on, you know, the extra 3 yards of carry distance that maybe I wasn't getting on the AP2.
I agree.
This is really good though. This is kind of fun, right? To go back because AP2 was a wildly popular iron for several generations.
Cool one to do would be like an AP3 versus a T250.
Well, maybe we should do that.
Maybe we should.
Thanks, Lucas.
You're welcome.